Alright, we got the Sony RX100 M5 together and fully working. Now I did have two problems. First problem was the flash wasn't working, and there's two little plugs right on this side of the board. This where's it at? Is it on this board? These plugs right here. Let's see which way to go. Well, anyway, let me just draw it. It's these plugs. There's one there and one here, and there's two black cables that come from a flash, and this one plugs in this way, but this one right here had a break in it right here, so I had to put a little piece of solder jumper right there on that cable. Then the LCD, when I first fired up the camera, everything was yellow and just real weird looking. It was like doing this yellow, you know, I'd move the camera around and it was like this yellow disco, you know, kind of a thing. And it was because of that connection point on that little thing was busted, and so I got this little magnifying glass. This is out of a lens, I think, to what is that, HX50 or something, but it'll magnify. You can see real close up good with that thing. And so I used this, and then I got this little screwdriver and this little what's that called, safety pin, and I pushed those little pins over. I saw a couple of them when they were out of alignment because that little plastic thing that covers this thing right here was busted. So once I just pushed those back in a line, then it started working again. So, but the flash, I had to use this and my solder gun and get in there and scrape that little thing back, you know, kind of scrape back the connections. It wasn't pretty small connections, but more like this connection here. It was a wire like that, so I had to get in there and I scraped it with this I just got in there with a magnifying glass and scraped this plastic off of it like that with this dull razor blade. Just scraped it back and then put a little solder jumper on it. So did a test on it, did the reset and all the settings, and it seems to all work pretty good. So let's see, there's the little flasher thing. What is this thing called? The eye viewer. I think you go like that. There's the eye viewer working, and I think if you close that now, it shuts it down. Menu button working, all the buttons there. There's record, and let's see the zoom. And there's the zoom. Let's see if it'll focus that close. Doubt it. No. And there's the focus. It's all working pretty good. And there's the old lens right there. And it won't focus when you zoom that close. And so the flash wasn't working. And let's test that, see if the flash is working. Okay, I gotta put it on auto. Let's see, I think it's on auto. Fill. So now the flash is working. And put it back on auto. So that's the only two problems I had, was the flash not working, and the LCD was doing this yellow, weird yellow. It was like you could see, and I knew it was the LCD cable right off the bat because when I went to the eye viewer, everything was fine in the eye viewer, and I put my card in there and took pictures. The pictures came out fine. It was just that thing being busted, and all those little I mean, they're real fine. It's like almost like, you know, hair fine little wires, and that little plastic thing that covers it keeps them all in alignment. So that was just the problem with that. And then the flash was that little cable. It just couldn't handle being unplugged and plugged back in roughly, you know. So there it is, brand new lens all together. And there's the zoom. Let's see if the let's do some other tests. There's the aperture. Let's see, is it on? Oh, I gotta select it. Okay, let's see if the yep, there it is, closing, and it's gonna get bigger now, and then it's opening, so all that's working. Aperture mode, it's a brand new lens, so shouldn't have any problem with the lens. And I cleaned the CCD, and I looked at the you know, the pictures, and it looks pretty good. And there's the focus. So pretty neat little camera. I like the little grip on it there. I don't know if that came stock or you can buy these extra, but sure does make it better to hold. And this one's in real good shape. Not bad. Got all the screws back in it. And it's all together. There it is. Looks real good. So I'm gonna be contacting her and send this camera back, and it's ready to go. So this one was a little bit difficult because of the you know, the cables that were torn, and you know, all the damage, and I sure won't ever do another one like this. It took a lot of my time, so I won't do another one like this that's been, you know, torn into. If the next person, matter of fact, I tell you right now, I don't even have time to do a you know, just a regular one with a lens. But when I do, you know, I'll never work on one that's been torn into again, I tell you that. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. That was the Sony RX100 V M5. Got it all back together, working great. All right, I'm out.